choice. Spirit, guide my day. Open my heart to live your way.
Good morning, everybody. What a beautiful day it is here at the Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Jay. I'm the spiritual director here. And yeah, Bodhi's going to have to show up at some point. I agree with that. He's out there, and he needs to be in here. He'll be here. The thing about it is, I can fill up time, and if he's not here, I'll have to start telling jokes or something. So I'll tell you what, until he gets here, let's just start with announcements, because I know where that's got to come up eventually yet. And we can start with our vision and mission. So if we all look up on the screen together, we can say, we are an inclusive community for spiritual growth and compassionate action. And our mission, we are co-creating a world that works for everyone by living intentionally, loving unconditionally, and seeing God in all people and all faiths. And I want to let you know that this month, kind of the middle of September through, it's officially through the middle of October, but I always consider to the end of October as Latinx Heritage Month. And what I love about this county and this area, we haven't limited it to just a few weeks. That really Latinx heritage is really all the time. And I particularly am inspired and hopeful to see the power of Latinas in this valley, and in their stepping into their vision and not letting anybody else tell them who they and what they are supposed to be. So it's great, and it's a year-round thing here, and that's great. And we're focusing on, particularly, we have our Spanish-speaking ministry here that we want to illustrate the growth and spirituality of our Latinx community. So if you know somebody who's Spanish speaking, that's important for them they can be a part of this and grow in their metamorphosis in that way. And then today we have Bodhi Starwater in his Soundscape Oasis. And so he's going to open us up into music. But before you do that, do you want to say something about the soundscape today?
It's a sonic ceremony. It's a journey with sound. And I have about 20 or 25 instruments, set them up here, and we'll go on a journey. We go deeper and deeper with each portal we go through. It's like traveling down a sonic river. And you can just relax and receive and feel your body alignment with the vibrational field that we're going to create together, and create a healing zone that we can all just drink from.
Sounds lovely. All right. Well, let's drink a little bit of your wine there, your intoxication. Thank you for opening us up today.
Do we have the words? All that I see and all that I have, and all that I do, all that I am is God. And all that I see, all that I hear, all that I feel is God. And all that I have, all that I do, all that I am is God. Let's sing it one more time. All that I see, all that I hear, all that I feel is God. All that I have, all that I do, all that I am is God. And all that I am is God. All that I am is God.
Just breathe that in. Beautiful. All that we are is God. Good. Well, I hope you can make it to the Soundscape today, because there'll be more of that today. We're going to have a break, so you have time for lunch. It starts at 1 o'clock this afternoon, so that'll be good. And then 2 weeks from now, on October 13th, Astra Fox and I are doing a workshop together. It's kind of a fun thing. What she does professionally is, as a life coach, is create mantras for people as an affirmation, a musical affirmation, if you want to call it that. And so that day, I'm going to give a brief introduction about creation science and creating our happiness and our peace and our love. And then she's going to take over, and she's going to have us do personal mantras for our abundance and our creation, for purpose, for joy in our lives. So that'll be really fun to do. So that is a ticket event for a $30 suggested donation, but at the same time, there's a way when you register online to pay what you can pay, what you're able to pay at the time. So we don't want to exclude anybody. We'd love everybody to be here for that. And that's 2 weeks from now on October 13th. Also today is our event advisory and support team. There have been people who have been a part of that. If you're still interested in being a part of that, you can be. We're setting the team up as a final one today. That if you're interested, please do come to that. And the idea is you're advising me and the practitioners on certain events we have coming up, the timing of them, and the content of them. So we appreciate your advice, and we'll meet out in the courtyard because I'll be setting up for the sound healing in here. So thank you for being a part of that. And then every Wednesday is our meditation. We have a growing number of people here for 6 p.m. On Wednesdays. I think it's a great evening time to kind of settle into the peace of the evening. No matter what your day's been, it's good to come to a peace in the evening. So please join us for that. We also, the practitioners and I, find it an honor to be able to pray for you, to hear what's on your heart, and to know a greater truth for you, knowing what Spirit is revealing in you. So after the service, the practitioners are here to pray with you if you want a brief affirmative prayer. Basically, they're just there to listen to you and to give you a prayer. I don't know about you. How many have prayed with a practitioner at one time or another? Okay, well, look around the room. We've done this, okay? This is what we do. And we turn to practitioners when we are struggling with something, when we're not sure what to know or what to do, and it allows us to know a deeper truth. So please avail yourself to this gift that we have offered you. And then also we have prayer requests in the lobby, prayer requests online that you can, if it's something during the week that you want to add, just call Mary or fill it out online. We are happy to pray for you. A couple things that we bring in our prayers today as we begin the sacred part of our service is that we have friends in Nashville, North Carolina, that their town is literally, you can't get in and out of it because of the flooding and the winds. Trees are downed all around. You know that area well. All around. So they're literally, the only way out is by helicopter right now. But they have the supplies they need, but there is a lot of flooding. The rivers are higher than they've ever been before. So quite. So we hold them in prayer for peace and safety and security. We know this truth for all people at this time, that anybody with a prayer request, that we bring it into this time of prayer. Let me just open it up to anybody who might have a prayer, and I'm just going to sweep the room here and just name the person. I'll get to you. Hold on there. We're going this way, left to right. So just if you have a name, you don't even just say what it is, just say a name, and you can just open up who it is that you want to. Luann. Maria.
My granddaughter
May.
Christine, Joe, Michael, Esther, Randy, Joe. My sister and her husband on St. Simon's Island, and my son and his girl in Lexington.
Yeah, I know they've been impacted too. All right, well, let's begin with this sacred music from Bodhi and hold these names in prayer, knowing the truth for them. And Virginia, in a minute, will come up and offer prayer for all.
Staying within, allow yourself to send down your grounding cord, starting the width of your hips, like the base of a tree, the trunk of a tree, and the roots go deep into the center of the earth. And let flow down that grounding cord anything that is not yours, anything you do not need. And open your heart to hear this prayer I will speak. May my heart be gentle, my mind still and open, my spirit unshackled, my awareness keen, my conscience clear, my nature giving. May I be a healing energy. May I be of benefit to all. May my life enrich others. May I know what matters and live in harmony with nature. Staying in that grounded within space. Open your heart. Find within your heart the wisdom to guide you so that you may know what matters, what truly matters in your life, in this world, in this experience of being a divine human. We've heard now this morning the trauma that others in other parts of the country are going through. What is it in that heart of yours that can cause you to appreciate where you are, who you are, and to feel that aliveness of the forever light within your body? Just take a moment, take a few inward breaths, and breathe into your heart and ask the question of yourself, what is it that truly matters? What is it that causes me to be fully alive, fully awake, and to open my heart to others, to this world, this earth, to all the magic of life, of the universe, the deep connection to the One. And from this space of the open heart, become aware of all the other light beings seated in this room. And know that they are just like you, the One in human form. Expand that awareness to all the beings everywhere. Animal, vegetable, mineral, throughout this whole earth, throughout the universe. And feel this moment, how alive and awake you are, how amazing it is to be here, and how just being aware of who you are can bring more light into this world. I give thanks for the opportunity to speak these words of prayer this morning. And I say, blessed be, and so it is. Blessed be. Thank you.
Well, I tried so long to do things my way, then it gets me in trouble. most every day. Now I feel ready to write a new play. And if you feel it too, well, let me hear you say, I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to let go, yeah. Into the arms of spirit. Into the arms of spirit. 'Cause I've been on this ride for oh so many years. Oh, the rough water on this river of tears. Thinking I can do it myself, I can push through the fears. But now when I surrender, I see it's all smoke and mirrors. I'm ready to let go. Try that. I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to let go. Into the arms of spirit. Into the arms of spirit. Well, it seems like forever that I've been holding on, hoping for things to get better with each new dawn. Well, the years roll by, took some time for me to know, well, the only way to get there, I have to let go. Sing it with me. I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to let go. Into the arms of spirit. 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 I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to let go. Into the arms of spirit. 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 Into the arms of spirit.
Bodhi, you have them perplexed. They don't know whether to clap for you or just be in it.
But they always figure it out.
They always figure it out. Yeah, thank you so much for the settling into this, the peace that we have today. So I wanted to give you, after we have prayers, we love, or we're praying for you, and you have what we call a manifestation or a breakthrough, an insight, a healing of some sort, we'd love to hear about it. So those prayer requests out in the lobby, as well as the one online, if you ever want to just put a gratitude for something that has been manifested, something created in your life, we'd love to hear it as practitioners. You can imagine why we would love to hear that. You know, it's good to have affirmation of our work, that we allow Spirit to come through us. It's not our work, but we're naming it and claiming it for you. And I'll let you know one that we do have in the community that we appreciate, that Janet Champion, those of you know her. She has had a health challenge lately, and she is back home and doing well in recovery, and we continue to hold her in prayer for that continual recovery, but we're grateful for that. It's always good to hear those. So today we're continuing actually the last month for this Fully Alive and Truly, see, it is confusing. Fully Awake and Truly Alive, or Fully Alive and Truly Awake, it doesn't really matter. It's really quite interchangeable. And today we're talking about putting the pieces together, but it's a little play on word, P-E-A-C-E-S, the pieces, because we can find peace when our life has become scattered in all different P-I-E-C-E-S pieces, and bring it together to feel oneness, one piece that we can find inside of ourselves. Of course, you remember the nursery rhyme about Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall and had a great fall, and all the king's men and all the king's horses couldn't put Humpty together again. And what I know about the truth about us is no one outside of us can put our pieces back together again. We have to do it ourselves. So Humpty Dumpty, I don't think it's a lost cause. He just, nobody could help him. He had to put himself back together again, right? And that's true of us, that we can find this peace beyond understanding. I always love that phrase, beyond understanding, because there's so many things in our lives we don't understand. The questions of why and what if and if only, the unanswerable questions that we have in life, that if we keep obsessing on those, keep wondering that, I mean, there's a certain amount of healing and contemplation that's necessary in that, but if we keep going that, we're not going to find the peace. We have to let go of that understanding to find the peace beyond understanding. As we talk about, there's that we have to find it ourselves. There is Spirit in us. There's Spirit around us that we can allow to come within us, that is this peace. But it's not something outside of ourselves. And yet, even if you believe this God is outside of yourself, you can still find this peace. I think of St. Francis, whose prayer of peace has brought peace to my heart. And he definitely has this sense of an outside God. I mean, his prayer of peace says, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. So that's a statement of something outside of him that comes into him that makes him. And I resist the word makes me, because, maybe it's a childhood rebellion. No one can make me do anything, right? But there's not anybody outside of me that's going to make me do anyway. I need to allow it. I need to surrender and allow this peace to come with me. And yes, it's a spirit of peace that's within me that comes through me, but I allow it to come through me. And when it comes through me, I can become an instrument of its peace, of thy peace, their peace, whatever you want to call it. It opens us up, the Spirit in me, through me, and I need to let go of any sense of unforgiveness, of fear and retribution that I might have. All the violence I can think of in this world, whether it be war or domestic violence, domestic terrorism, international terrorism, it's all around fear and retribution. It's what drives the wars in the Mideast. If we can let go of that in our own lives, it begins to spread to others to let go of that and to find that peace beyond. And it can make a difference. We can become an instrument of peace. And we have to find that peace within ourselves. When I first got into new thought and spiritual ways and ideas of opening up that we create our world, that we create our experiences, a lot of people had trite phrases, simple phrases that tried to make the uncomfortable comfortable. Things like, everything happens for a reason. Everything is good. And I just found in my life that doesn't work for me anymore. Yes, there is cause and effect in the world. But I believe instead of, and now that I think of everything happens for a reason or all is good, I know there's reason and good in all things. But that's not necessarily like something outside of me is causing something to happen in my life, so I'll learn a lesson. Now, a few weeks ago, you noticed a lot of people asked me about it. I had a little bump here on my head, a little scar, and looked pretty ugly. And I had bent down to pick something off the floor and hit my head on a chair, and it made a... Now, the reason that happened is because the room was dark. I hadn't turned the lights on. So there's a direct cause and effect with that I bit down in the dark thinking that I knew where I was, and I banged my head, and it caused that. So that's a quick lesson I could learn from that. Sometimes lessons aren't quite as clear, but sometimes there's no clear cause. And yet we know there's good and reason in those things. I have a grandnephew, my nephew's son. His name is Ever. Ever, at 1 year old, was diagnosed with cancer. You cannot say that happened for a reason. You just cannot say that and be a consciousful person. But I tell you what, this guy's a trooper. This is his father, Ben, my nephew, who's a pediatrician. His wife, Ever's mother, is a birthing coach, a doula. So they know children well. So they were able to, and they have a daughter that's older, and so they walked through them. And I tell you, this kid was more than a survivor. Anybody who's a mental health or any kind in the medical field of any kind knows that there are days that are tough, that are hard to leave behind. And I know as a high school counselor, I had some of those days too. But this kid was the inspiration for a lot of nurses and a lot of doctors because he was always happy. I mean, he had multiple surgeries and was prodded and poked, and he still was a survivor. And look here, he's on the left-hand side, he's up, and just their family is just having fun, and he was always a joy. He is now 4 years old and cancer-free. Now I know that they brought this joy. They gave him a sense of love and joy and kept him up. And that was not only, I think, a way that he healed, but it was an inspiration to the nurses and doctors that created more healing, gave them inspiration to continue to, how many patients that don't make it, and that this is, and so this is the good and life-affirming things that do happen to us, that can be. I know people that are struggling with physical health, and some of it you could say is aging, yes. Some of it happens way younger than that, that's not aging, that just is, and we continue to find the peace within us, find the love within us, because we always know that healing is possible. The cure does not always happen. Healing and cure are two different things. However, our best bet at the cure is to find the healing within inside, find the peace inside, and allow it to come forth. Last night, some of us were over at Diana's house. And a friend of ours, Luann, was visiting from out of state. She used to be an active member, a practitioner here in this community, loved and adored her. And while we were there, she found out her mother, 94 years old, had taken a turn for the worse health-wise and was possibly going to make her transition any moment now. And so we gathered a prayer circle, and we brought Luann in the middle of the circle, and we brought her mom, although states away in Montana, was right there with us. I mean, she was there. And that brought peace to Luann, the sense that her mom was there with her because she didn't know she'd make it home in time to see her before she passed. And also got a sense while we were in this circle that her mom was at peace, that all is well within her. Did that mean she would recover? I didn't get that sense at all. That wasn't what my intuition was, that she was at peace and all is well within. A few hours later, her mom passed before she was able to make it home. But this prayer circle brought peace to Luann, and it brought it to her mom. And that's what prayer is. When we can pray, we can bring peace to ourselves, bring peace to others. Peace beyond understanding, because why would anybody feel peaceful when your mom is about to pass? Her dad had already passed. This is the last parent she has. That would be a moment of panic for most people, and it was at first. But when we drop in, we can find this peace within us beyond understanding. And that's the peace that I'm talking about today, that even when our life has fallen apart, we can find a greater peace within us. Last week I showed this slide, and I think it's worth speaking again about what Wayne Dyer said, that about our life can be all these pieces and create this tapestry, create this beauty that we can find within it. Even when it's fallen into pieces, we can find a beauty and a peace. And he said, as I look back at the entire tapestry of life, my life, I can see the perspective that every present moment, every aspect of my life was necessary and perfect. Each step eventually led to a higher place, even though these steps often felt like obstacles or painful experiences at the time. I can relate to that. How many people can relate to that? Yeah. At the time, it felt like there were pieces that weren't going to come together ever. Things were always going to fall apart. We were Humpty Dumpty, and we were a mess. And yet we found a way to find this truth, to find this opening, to find this grace. All true teachers of all faiths talk about a way to peace that's within. I cannot find the peace for you. You have to find your own peace. But I can tell you how to find it, or a way to find it. I'm not going to tell you the way to find it, but a way to find it. What we know is an authoritative, prescriptive religion does not bring us peace. It can be, we can take that system and find peace, but it on itself is not it. I talked about St. Francis, make me an instrument of thy peace. And he found the peace, healing from a overbearing and abusive father. He left a life of privilege. I mean, he could have been comfortable the rest of his life, all his needs met without ever having to work. But he left that because he knew that wasn't his path of healing and wholeness. He chose an unconventional, simple life. He rebuilt an abbey from rubble, stone by stone, because he knew that was the way of peace for him, the way of love, the way of compassion. Buddha gave up a life of privilege to find ways of peace, a common simplicity also, an awareness. Moses went up on the mountaintop to bring commandments down to his people, but it wasn't about the commandments. The most important thing that Moses brought down to his people, saying, there's nothing out there you're going to find peace. You've got to find your own inner guide. These commandments are one way to find your inner guide, but you've got to do it yourself. Don't worship idols outside of yourself. Don't look at things away. Bring it in to yourself. Jesus said, I leave you with peace. A way to find peace is what he said. He wasn't like, I am the Savior. He said, this is a way to peace. a way of non-judgment and loving your neighbor and your perceived enemies. And I'm saying it's not always easy to find it. There are times that our life has fallen apart, that there is a lot of pieces scattered around. One of my favorite authors and animators, both I have two animators today I want to talk about, but the one I want to talk about now is Omar Atani. And this is his I love this little thing about being centered and balanced. So when you're centered and balanced, you're in this way, but when you're out of balance, it's like a pendulum swinging back and forth rapidly. That, it's going wildly. Your emotions are going from fear to anxiety to concern to worry to what is my life going to be? What are people going to think? And back and forth. But slowly, we can let go of that frustration and worry, and the pendulum comes to rest. Comes to rest in this peace. That we allow it. We notice those wild swinging, and we just come back to center and bring it in. This out of balance we can bring. And how we do that is we open up to a greater thing than us. And we allow all these experiences in a sense of divine and surrender. And even though the pendulum keeps swinging, we open up to a greater thing, a greater spirit, whatever you want to call it, divine presence, creative intelligence, to download through us, to be through us, and it creates this peace, this love, this understanding, or beyond understanding in many cases. So imagine in your life for a moment something that is out of balance, whatever it is. Just think of something in your life as out of balance. And as you watch this pendulum swinging, just notice how it comes into balance. Just allow it to come to balance. Swinging and at peace. This is as simple as the metaphor you can do to bring yourself at peace, whatever it is. I also compare this V to allowing the many experiences we have to come into this one river, one ocean. Think of it as many streams of our experiences, many feelings and emotions and thoughts we have, and we bring it down into a oneness, almost like a big watershed, and all the different trickles come down and they come to form one river that flows into one ocean, into the oneness of all life. It also is the V of the science of mind symbol. For those of you who have taken classes, you're familiar with the science of mind symbol. We have it in a vineyard symbol here, but in here that we know that divine inspiration works through the laws, spiritual laws, comes through our beliefs that may keep us from creating or experiencing that which we are seeking, and creates our experience. Another way to think about that is the divine seed gets planted into the soil and creates our plant, our life that we is. Thinking of it as almost an upside down flower there. And also think of a divine idea, and we take action and we move into a result, but it's action based on peace, based on love, based on unity. This is somebody's artistic view of that we take all that we have and we're creating from that place into something greater, a big bowl of beauty and peace and soup that we bring into the center of our being, down into our gut, into our soul, and experience this peace. That all of our experiences create this one river, this one ocean, this tapestry of life. And St. Francis's words in his prayers, make me an instrument of thy peace. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned. It is in forgiving, it's in giving, it's in opening the Spirit that we find this peace and this love. So the ways we need to do this to create this sense of peace within us, the first one is to know empathy. Now, empathy is an interesting word because I have told you often, and what you probably know is that we know that when we let go of all the stuff, the worry, the fears, there's love and peace within us. But empathy is not natural. It's not one that we have to learn how to be empathetic. Now, somebody who is an empathic is someone who is aware of people's feelings, but sometimes there's not a separation between their energy and another person's energy. What we need to learn is to be able to see through another person's eyes, like this illustration is here. It's beyond the golden rule. So if you think of the golden rule as being, do unto others as you want done unto you, right? So how we imagine, how we want to be treated, we're going to treat other people that way. Well, the platinum rule is the one of empathy, where you treat others how they want to be treated. There's a big difference in that. So we actually get to know somebody and learn about them and be empathetic and honor them and who they are, which means knowing their background, their experiences, the neighborhood they grow up in, the cultural experiences they have. You know, we talk about this being Latinx History Month, Celebration Month. You cannot put all Latin and Hispanic people into one group of people because they come from so many different cultures and so many different countries and so many different experiences. I mean, even Mexico has, I know, regions like the United States has, where there's differences in the dialects and experiences, and the whole gamut, the whole rainbow of experiences. And we need to honor people for that. And the only way we're going to do that is to get to know them, to understand them, to ask them questions. What's your experience? What's this like? And to know that the way of peace, as St. Francis said, is grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. So it's seeking to understand. And we also know what Thich Nhat Hanh said, when we begin to see that our enemy is suffering just the way that we do, it's the beginning of insight. Not to judge them, not to recognize them, not to point fingers at their wrongdoing or right doing. It's the righteousness that we have. Jesus talked about that. He said, judge not by appearances, but judge by righteousness. And when the Bible is like, what do you mean? Okay, we're not supposed to judge by appearances, but it's okay to judge by righteousness? First of all, we don't really know what Jesus said. And it wasn't written down till decades after he died. And there's been translation problems with the language. And that's when I turn to something that's called contemplation or centering, where you just take a phrase like that, if it's uncomfortable with you, even if it's something else somebody told you, that we might be making up a story about, we take it into the peace. So when I take that phrase, to judge by righteousness, what I recognize that is the Buddhist concept of right thinking, right concentration, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right intention, right view. Versus righteousness as a mental aspect of judgment. And I don't want to do that, but I won't know that what's aligned for me is within the peace. And what we can find ourselves, what is right for us, what is universally right for us as a world, as a community, as a being. I get that so that now it's not judging, it's discerning, it's opening to this greater view, this greater truth. And when I know when I'm inside, I also know I look for, as Valerie Carr said, who have I not yet loved? Who have I not yet loved? Because if I want to find my peace beyond understanding, I need to make sure there's not someone in there that I'm holding on a little grudge. So I want to invite you right now. I don't think it's going to be hard. Who have you not yet loved? And just take a moment to bring one or two people into that mind. Go ahead and close your eyes if that feels comfortable. And just bring a person or persons into your mind who you've not yet loved. And surround them with the love of God. Not your human love, because you may not have that ability, but a divine love that wraps them in love and knowing they are a divine child of the greater knowing in this universe. That they are love themselves. They are whole and complete and beautiful. Yes, beautiful. Okay, when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And you can go back to this at any time. But it's an importance of knowing wholeness. Knowing the wholeness of somebody. There's a great story by Shel Silverstein, the other animator I want to talk about today, who wrote a book called The Missing Piece. It's a children's book, but it has so much adult into it. It's basically about this shape that's missing a piece apparently, and he goes in search, or he or she, they go in search of finding their missing piece, and some are too small, too big, and doesn't fit, and finally they think they found the perfect one that fits in there, but as soon as they do, that all of a sudden that missing piece began to grow, and this person didn't want to grow with it. So they parted their ways and they rolled their own ways. But for me, I also want to know the truth that this beingness experienced wholeness for a moment, but realized it wasn't something else that made them whole, that they got a mental equivalent of what is whole. And we all find that in our lives. Relationships sometimes come together of two broken people, two people that are missing pieces, and sometimes in that relationship they're able to find wholeness, but if they can't, it usually doesn't last. If they're looking for each other to complete themselves, some sort of incompleteness there. And so that's okay too, because they go on and they don't find their own way. There's a follow-up book called The Missing Piece Meets the Big O. So this missing piece finds this perfect O, this big O as it's called, and realizes it's perfect and tries to fit into this big O. But the big O goes, I don't need anything. I'm okay just the way I are, but I wanted to roll with you. And the missing piece goes, but I can't roll. And the big O says, well, have you tried? Big O said, you might have sharp edges, but corners wear off. And that's true for all of us. Our corners wear off, and so it was with this missing piece, that his corner wore up. Instead of bumping and flopping, he became whole and complete and fabulous. And that's true for us. True for us. And when we know ourselves completely, when we know the truth of our being, that we can allow Spirit to make, or we allow Spirit to be the peace, so that we are an instrument of peace in our own lives and in the lives of others. Because when we know peace, we can know peace for others. When we know love, we can know love for others. That's our affirmative prayer that we do. That we open up to this love that is all around us, this peace that's all around us, and we bring it into our souls, into our self. And we find peace right here. And we allow this peace to stay with us and its effect move out into the world. And in that way, we are an instrument of peace. We have taken the pieces of our lives and become this peace. Let us go to prayer. What I know right now is that there is only Spirit. That's all there is. And as we allow all of our experiences to come together and come into our soul, we know we are connected in the oneness, the one river, the one ocean, the one life that is always here. And we harmonize. We connect. We allow this. And we become instruments of peace. We become a community of peace, a life of peace. And we also have a confidence within us whenever there is chaos, change, disruption, that we have the ability to come back to peace, come back to love, come back to this place of center. And for this, I'm grateful for Spirit that is always moving and being in our lives, that is the truth, that is a way. We know this to be. Together we say, and so it is.
Think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, bright blessed day and the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. All the colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, and I watch them grow. They'll learn so much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
This is a time in our service when we invite you to be part of the law of circulation. There are many ways to give. We appreciate your support of our vision and mission, the expansion of our purpose and vision. So if the ushers could come forward. You know, every Sunday I ask you to put your hand over your heart to represent that which you're given. I wanted to let you know about something we have in the lobby you might not know about. These are little pretend checks, little plastic checks, and basically it represents any money that you might give online. We appreciate you doing automatic donations, for instance, or sometimes it's just easier when you're doing all your other bills, your bill pay to add to it. But it's when you come here into the center and you kind of want to hold something to represent that which you've given. So you can take this over your heart, and there'll be some out in the lobby. I'm going to put one in each plate today just so that you have that reference to it. If you passes by and you've already given or you plan to give, then you can just bless that. So we appreciate all the different ways you give. So I'm going to take this over my heart, and whatever, whether you've given in the past, where you're giving today, take your donation there, or in the future, repeat after me. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate, and so it is. Just 2 plates. Okay.
God is the source of who I am. God is the dream of what I do. And if it's God I'm talking to, I give myself to be used by you. God is the source of who I am. God is the dream of what I do. And if it's God I'm talking to, I give myself to be used by you. God is the source of who I am. God is the dream of what I do. And if it's God I'm talking to, I give myself to be used by you. God is the source of who I am. God is the dream of what I do. If it's God I'm talking to, I give myself to be used by, give myself to be used by, myself to be used by you.
Beautiful. Thank you. That's what I thank our production team, week in, week out. Sean and Alex and Michelle and Georgia and Shauna and Phil K. All these people, we appreciate all that you do. Let's give them a round of applause. And I appreciate all of you as well. If any of this happens to be anybody's first time today, we'd like to acknowledge you, whether online or here in the sanctuary. If you're willing to raise your hand, we have a gift for you. Anybody's first time today? Carmen back there, welcome. Carmen's in our class on Tuesday night, but our first time here, so good to have you here today. And then we appreciate anybody who's here still figuring us out and here for the first few times. So we do have fellowship afterwards, a great time to get to know people, get to learn about empathy, for figuring out who they are and what's going on with them, what their life is like. So we just bless you today. So we have an affirmation for our new guest today, or anybody that might be online. We raise our hand and we say, we bless you today, knowing that the peace and happiness you seek is also seeking you. We honor your inner radiance as you let your light shine in the world. We are grateful for your presence in our community, and so it is. It's great. And now we have some kiddos. Let's welcome our kiddos.
First of all, I just want to acknowledge Tony, our teen. She came prepared with curriculum for the kids today, and I had a kind of a weird morning and stuff, and I got here late, so it just couldn't have been more perfect. And I just appreciate her stepping up into such a great leadership role at such a young age. I just really admire you. Thank you, Tony.
So today we read a book about what things that make you mad. And then we went outside and did some chalk and wrote about how kindness, like what kindness is. And then we went back inside and played some cards. And then the poster thingy.
Here's the affirmation.
kindness the norm.
Yes.
Make kindness the more.
Can we say that with them? Let's all say that. Make kindness the norm. Beautiful. Thank you.
Make kindness the norm. It's only good form. Make kindness the norm.
All right, all right. Thank you, thank you. And could I invite our practitioners to come up, please? Please know that if you would like prayer after, just keep your seat, and we will. And we will. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. If you would like prayer, just stay your seat, and the rest of us will go out for our conversation. But what I forgot about was sickness. You know, this is a great thing about a production team. When I forget something, they remind me, and they reminded me we haven't blessed the kids yet. I got caught up in your song. Oh. So let's raise our hands, and we use the affirmation on the screen. We say, we love you, we care about you, and we're here for you. Yay. Let's all stand for the congregational affirmation. And we have a new closing song today that Bodhi's going to teach us, but it's pretty intuitive. You'll figure it out easily. So, repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
I'm led by Spirit.
I'm led by Spirit.
I'm guided by wisdom.
I'm guided by wisdom.
I'm protected by love.
I'm protected by love.
I'm here to be a blessing.
I'm here to be a blessing.
I am so grateful.
I am so grateful.
And so it is.
So it is.
Whoop. There it is.
Are you ready? All right. I am a prayer for peace. Wherever I go, peace goes with me. I feel peace inside. In every breath, peace abides. And I know the joy of peace. And I choose fear to release. Every moment love wakes up, and peace is every step. You got it now.
Got it.
I am a prayer for peace. Wherever I go, peace goes with me. I feel peace inside. In every breath, peace abides. And I know the joy of peace. And I choose fear to release. Every moment love wakes up, and peace is every step. Oh, peace is every step. And now it goes up. Peace is every step.
May every step be peace. And so it is.
Make kindness the norm. It's only good form. It'll help you weather the storm. Make kindness the norm. Make kindness the norm. It's only good form. Help you weather the storm. Make kindness the norm.